Good morning, everyone. My name is Joyce, so I don't have to introduce myself as Andrew has done a wonderful job. Thanks for Andrew to invite me here today just to share with you some development or some facts about the open access development in China. So, yeah. So today I'm going to first to give you some facts about the research output growth as an overall background. It's not just open access output growth, but it's overall. And then I'm going to talk about policy and funding. So, and also institutional repository and open access journals in China. So I'd like to start with introducing you a little bit about my company. So BioMed Central, we are growing very fast in China. So at the moment, we have 265 journals, and we have 8 journals from China at the moment, but I think it's going to grow. And we have over 500 member institutes all over the world. At the moment, we only have 6 from China, but I will talk about this later. So I think it's also going to grow. The research output growth, I think the government is putting a lot of effort in supporting the research. So if you can see from the trend, the R&D investment is taking more and more percentage in the overall GDP. And in 2012, the government has 1,000 billion Chinese yuan, which equals 100 billion pounds for R&D overall. So it's like overall activities. And if you look at the number of articles output, from a report from Thomson Reuters, we see China published over 150,000 articles in 2011. I'm sure like the figure now is, I don't have the most recent figure, but I'm sure it's quite massive. So let's look at the policy and some like something from the government level. So it's like the open access talking started very early in China. So from 2003, the CAS is for Chinese Academy of Sciences. It's a very active player in promoting open access in China. So they are the first member for BioMed Central, and they really support their researchers to publish their, to make their research results open access. And it's the largest national research institute in China. It has various branches all over China. And NSFC stands for National Natural Science Foundation of China. It's the biggest government funder. So they signed Berlin Declaration in 2003 and 2005. And also like, but if you look at the progress, there's no like, how to say, specific results. It's more like the government is saying like, yes, we are going to support open access, we want to support open data, but there's no mandate or nothing specific. But in 2000, 2013, the National Science and Technology Library joined the Higher Energy Physics OA Consortium. So they try to support the OPAXIS study. But from this year, there was a Global Research Council meeting in Beijing in May, and in that meeting, CAS and NSFC announced a national mandate. But it's in green OA, but still we're very excited about the progress because this is the first national mandate in OPAXIS we have in China, and we're hoping to see, its growth, progressing in the future. And I'm going to talk about the specific content in the mandate. For CAS, they require their researchers to deposit their research within 12 months in the institutional repository. And because CAS has built up a very good institutional repository group, so many of the branches in CAS has their own institutional repository. And they also authorize libraries and information departments in CAS Institute to develop their own OPAXIS license policy in accordance with the policy. And for NSFC, as I mentioned, they funded maybe half of the research grants in China, and so they require their researchers to deposit their final manuscripts within 12 months in the NSFC repository. But unfortunately, there is no, the repository is still under preparation. And I think according to the institution, they hope to have it ready by the end of 2016. So before that, researchers don't have any work to do. They don't have to do additional work. And about funding, so this is not just about China, so it's overall, because I think people may be interested in how authors pay their APCs in different subject areas. And it's obvious to see in health science and life science, most of the APCs are covered by research grants. And so you can tell the difference, different level of OPAXIS in different subject areas. But in China, so we did some surveys to our authors, and I think because Andrew mentioned maybe people are also interested in how people find funding in other Asia countries and areas, so I highlight some Asian countries and how people found their APCs. And so in China, all the research grants have allow their researchers to there's a portion of the grants to be used for publication. So every researchers, if they do this budget in their planning, they can use the grant for publication of their results. And just because I think BioMed Central is the first publisher to start the membership program in China with the universities and institutes. So at the moment, we have those member institutes, and it includes the top medical schools and CAS, the biggest supporter. So what we do is try to promote OPAXIS with more and more institutes, and just to my recent knowledge, some of other publishers also start the membership program. So I hope like this will help more and more people to be aware of open access publishing. So, and because we work with libraries and the institutes to promote this, to draw their attention to our journals. Open repository. So this is the most recent data I get from OpenDOAR. China has, so this is about the Asian countries, and China has 7.8% in the overall, and there are 39 repositories in China, including 4 from Hong Kong, 1 from Macau. So most of the institutional repository in China now are CAS institutes, China Academy of Sciences. As I mentioned, they put a big effort in building that. So this is some like specific open institutional repositories. In 2005, Xiamen University has built the first institutional repository in China. Then like CAS just participate, and it grows very fast. Also, CALIS is like the academic university library, how to say, group or consortium. So they are trying to build more institutional repository as well. Yes. And also the CAAS is Chinese Academy of Agricultural Sciences. They are also building up their institutional repository. So it's like moving very fast. Okay, so this is the last part, open access journals. In China, most of the journals, if like the institute is going to publish a journal, they need to register it under Chinese Association of Science and Technology. So this is, the data is from a report done by some Chinese researchers. And you can see there's a big growth in the number of open access journals. But what I'm going to say is most of the journals are free. So you can say it's more like free access journals more than open access journals. They don't charge anything. The institute may cover all the cost. And also, most of them don't adopt Creative Commons license. So some journals, they say we are open access, but still they ask their authors to transfer copyrights so it's kind of mixed. But there are more and more journals working with international publishers, not just BioMed Central. So to my knowledge, I think every major international publishers are in China trying to help the Chinese institute or Chinese community to build up their international journals, and there's a big focus on open access, not just in biology and medicine, also in other subject areas, sometimes I think physics, engineering, so because in Springer Open we have like quite a few journals, open access journals there already, and also ALPSP and MPG is also doing all like full open access journals with Chinese institutes. And I just want to sum up to my presentation. There's big growth in the research output from China, and I think the current government policy is on green OA, and they don't talk about gold open access, but the next step from the government, maybe they are looking at sponsoring certain articles in open access. And their focus now is to build up a national institutional like repository for researchers to deposit their work. So there's very, they talk less about gold open access. And all funders in China allow authors to use part of their research grants for publication. So funding is, especially in biology and medicine, it's less an issue for Chinese authors to publish. And the institutional repository are increasing. And I think open access journals are also increasing, but there's still a big gap with the like standard open access journals. And I hope with the efforts from all the international publishers, we're going to improve the situation there. Also, we already have some very great open access journals in China, so I hope this is going to help change the situation there. Okay, that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Hello, thanks for your talk, Phil Hurst from the Royal Society. Can you say a little bit more about how your membership program works in China? What sort of model you're using?
Oh, we have 3 models: prepay, supporter, and some else. Yeah, so it's like very much to the, so it's depending on the institution how they want to join our membership program. So it's like, it depends on how big they are, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And we have all the information on the website because like it's all transparent. You can just go to our website and you can read everything there.
We're going to make Amanda run up and down. Yeah, it's terrific.
Hi, Bruce Hedrick with JSTOR. We work with a number of smaller publishers through the CALIS Consortium in China. And we've found over the past year or so that there's been a reluctance for these smaller publishers. One of the requirements that CALIS has is that the publishers deposit their content, current content, in one of these repositories that have yet sometimes to be built, and that have very terms that are uneasy. And so publishers have become reluctant to sell their current subscriptions in these places because they don't want to deposit their content there when they really are not sure what's going to happen. I'm just wondering if others in this room are depositing their content there and going forward and assuming that risk, or if they found other ways to go at this. And I don't know if you have the same issue at BioMed Central or not.
We don't have the issue because it's open access and we use the license so they can deposit the content wherever they want, and we encourage people to do that. Maybe it's a better question for Elsevier later.
Thank you.
Camilla Macron from Frontiers. I was wondering, what's your opinion on the significance of the impact factor in China, and like that in relation to open access journals?
Yes, people attach much importance to impact factors when they talk about journals. They always ask you, like when you're at the conference stand, the first question your authors will ask you is, what's the impact factor of your journal? They care less about the scope or, so this is like because of the rating system. If people want to get promoted or they want to get grants, they have to have like certain records of publication in journals with impact factors, blah, blah, blah. So this is a fact. And I think it's not just in China, it's also in Japan, in Taiwan, in South Korea. It's very much dominant in some Asia areas. So I'm not sure if, like we as publisher, we are trying to educate people on that, but still like it's kind of historical, and I think it's going to change because some institutes, they in the past, all the like bigger universities or institutes, they require their PhD student to publish their articles in journals with impact factors 5 or just at certain level so they can get graduation. Otherwise they can't graduate. But now I think it's changing in some institute, so I hope it's going to change in the future with like efforts from everyone here, maybe. Yeah, all the like people working in the field, like we need to do more education about what is important in publication, why you should value this journal, not just impact factor. And we are going to, like in BioMed Central and Springer, we use altmetrics. So we are trying to tell people you can value the impacts of your articles in many different ways, not just the impact factor, but it's going to be there.
We had another question over here.
Hi, thank you very much for your talk. My name is Emma Wilson from the Royal Society of Chemistry. I've got 2 questions, if I may. One was, obviously it was big news when CAS put the mandate out earlier this year for green open access, and which, as I understand it, is likely to come into effect from 2016, when the repository infrastructure is a little bit better. Could you do you have any insights about how CAS would potentially monitor that mandate and what their expectations are for how many, what percentage of the output is going to be put into those repositories and how they see that ramping up?
I think CAS, they will ask their researchers to show like certain records if they deposit their because it's institutional repository, so it's very easy for them to monitor the result.
Are they likely to? Is the researchers' funding likely to be jeopardised if they don't deposit though?
At the moment, I haven't heard of this.
Because until that happened, often it's very low, isn't it? The compliance rates are very, very low.
Yes.
And also, I'd be interested in your views in terms of your experience in terms of the APC charges.
Yes.
And if you see, working globally, if you see correlations between China submissions and the APC charges, or if you see no variation.
Sorry, I don't think I've got your point.
Sorry, so if you have lower APC charges, do you see greater submissions from China, or not?
At the moment, for BioMed Central, the largest submissions are from China, but not the publication. So.
And is that irrespective of the APC?
Yeah. I think, like as I said, funding is, especially in biology and medicine, I guess like it's well-funded area, so it's less an issue for authors to, when they look for publications, they care more about journals, like the reputation of the journals. Yeah.
Thank you.
One more question, just behind you there, Amanda, and to your left.
Hi. You mentioned that you used to work with Elsevier earlier. I was wondering what the scene is for journals in humanities and social sciences. How does APC affect submissions?
You mean the
for humanities journals?
In social science in China? So, because this is maybe like my information is not entirely correct, but in Springer, we like, to my knowledge, we also have social science open access journals, but it's a less well-funded area. So I know like authors find the standard APCs are quite high, and also they feel like less needs to publish in open access journals because they don't have the, like, it's not the trend in the subject. But still, like, we do some open access journals in China.
Thank you.